Hello everybody, I am Yuki, and today I'm going to be counting down the list for my picks of the top 10 anime series of all time. Now remember, these are just the anime that I've seen, and this is my own personal opinion. I'm way behind on all the anime that I need to watch, and if you have a suggestion, then please leave it in the comments, and I'll be sure to check it out sometime. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the list. Number 10. Yugioh. I'm sure we all remember the phenomenon that was Yu-Gi-Oh! I played it all the time when I was a kid. I remember collecting the cards, playing the game, watching the show. It was great. Now the anime itself is actually really well written and has pretty deep and awesome story. If you watch the Japanese version anyway. Yeah, that's right, this spot technically goes to the Japanese version of the series, because let's face it, 4Kids is trash. They completely screwed over the impact of the story by cutting out all of the violent scenes, as well as creating the Shadow Realm, a completely fake and made up thing to replace death within the show. Anyways, this show has a great story to be told in each arc, and has amazing action scenes to behold. The animation is great, and yes, I still feel the show holds up even today. And I'd also recommend Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in Japanese again, because despite what other people say, I personally think that series is really well written. That is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets the number 10 spot on my list. Number 9. Dragon Ball Z. Alright, now I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, because it's Dragon Ball Z. I mean, there isn't much to be said that hasn't already been said. I grew up with the show. The great action scenes, the amazing storytelling, and even all the likable characters make the show what it is. You always find yourself cheering for Goku and hoping he finds a way to protect his friends. I mean, who didn't get chills the first time he went Super Saiyan against Frieza? Or the time he fought against Majin Buu, one of my favorite arcs of the series. Honestly, no matter who you are, new or old, you'll probably find some kind of enjoyment in Dragon Ball Z if you're an anime fan. And while I haven't seen it yet, I've heard Dragon Ball Super is actually doing really well. The series is still relevant today, and it's worth checking out. Number 8. Future Diary. This show is sort of a mindfuck. However, it's still really good. Basically, the story is about a guy named Yukiteru Amano. His name's Yuki. Nice. Anyway, he eventually gets his hands on a phone, which is called a diary, and in this show, whoever has one of these diaries is entered into a game of survival, and the way to win is to kill all other diary users. Now, the winner of the game gets to pretty much become God. However, the show is super yandere because of another contestant in the game, Yuno Gasai. She's super in love with Yuki, and stuff gets crazy. Honestly, with the amount of suspense and creativity in the plot, the show really just keeps trying to get you to continually watch until the very end, and I highly recommend the show if you're a fan of murder mystery kind of stuff, and if you're a fan of yandere as well. Number 7. Danganronpa, the animation. Speaking of murder mystery / death games, Danganronpa the animation has a similar premise, where you have to kill to survive. In this show, you have to successfully kill another player. However, after a murder has been committed, the other players have time to search for evidence to see if they can catch the killer. After that, everyone is taken to a courtroom, where they must figure out who committed the crime. And if you get caught in the action, then you die as well. It's a pretty well thought out story, and the ending is really unique and interesting, as well as the series deals with a lot of topics such as hope and despair. Will you give up or will you keep fighting? With its unique animation style for the death scenes, it actually makes you want to keep watching just to see the murderers die in the different and unique ways. So I highly recommend this if you're a murder mystery kind of person. Number 6. Angel Beats. Oh, the feels. This anime, man. It's so good. Alright, so this was one of the first 13 episode anime I've ever seen, and I was actually really amazed at the series' ability to tell a very engaging and interesting story with such a short amount of episodes. What happens after you die? It's a huge question, and while some people have their beliefs, in this world, when you die after living a bad or unfair life, you get sent to purgatory. However, this purgatory is structured to where when you accept the life you had, you get obliterated from that world of purgatory. And the main characters try to stop that from happening, and believe that a girl named Angel is in charge of it all, so they try to stop her as well. Honestly, if you have a lot of time to kill, then I highly recommend binge watching this anime. It deals with a lot of heavy subject matter, from death and murder to living life handicapped and empty. It's a real tearjerker, and I really recommend it for anybody. Number 5. Attack on Titan. Having the sex with the bees and the eagles. Ha 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 ha. Okay, seriously though. Imagine living in a world where humanity has been pushed to live behind walls to survive against gigantic, human-eating creatures known as Titans. This series is really smart in how it sets up its world. It raises so many questions early on, and really makes you want to find out the secrets of Attack on Titan. The characters are also really unique and interesting. However, don't get too attached because your favorite character may very well be killed off at any given time. With its deep story, amazing animation style, Attack on Titan is my pick for the number 5 spot on my list. Number 4. Clannad/Clannad Afterstory. Alright, we've got one more tearjerker on the list. This anime is really just about a boy who goes through high school and then his real life after high school. However, he meets this girl named Nagisa Furukawa and eventually falls in love with her. Now, early on in the series, people usually get drawn in by the funny moments that occur within the first few episodes, and after you get past those, you find yourself really feeling and caring about all the characters in the show, and honestly, the first arc of the series will most likely have you in tears by the end of it, not to mention the end of the series. I guess with Clannad's ability to make me feel as much as I did, that's why I put it on the number 4 spot, so grab your tissues and get ready to watch that. Number 3. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This show is proof that it's always wiser to stick to the source material as closely as possible. Now, this version of the show follows the manga a lot more closely than the 2003 version, and it's a lot better because of it. Fullmetal Alchemist's plot structure is so precise that it knew where it was going from the start. The entire series is setting up for the ending, which, in my opinion, is the greatest ending in all of anime. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I highly recommend binge watching this 64 episode series. It really is worth it. It's also one of the best English dubbed anime I've ever seen, with an available blooper reel on YouTube. Anyway, this show follows the 2 brothers who used alchemy to affect the world around them, and they follow a strict law, equivalent exchange. In order to obtain something, you must first give up something of equal value, and the brothers one day decide to bring back their dead mother through alchemy, which is strictly forbidden, because no one knows what could equal the cost of a human life. In their attempt, they fail, and Edward, the older brother, loses his leg, while his younger brother, Alphonse, loses his entire body. Desperate to save his little brother, Edward gives up his right arm to bond Al's soul to a suit of armor, and with that, the amazing action-packed adventure begins on a way to find out how to get their original bodies back. So I highly recommend this show to any anime fan. It truly is a masterpiece, and the art is so great. Number 2. Naruto/Naruto Shippuden. Now, about a year ago, this would have been my number 1 easily, but things change. Anyways, Naruto takes place in the world of ninjas, who use chakra to use unique abilities, from cloning yourself to summoning giant animals. Naruto was given the spirit of the 9-tailed fox demon when he was a child, which caused him to become an outcast in his village, and with no family he became very lonely. However, he eventually decided to become the Hokage, or the leader of his village, so that everyone would finally acknowledge him. The adventures we go on with Naruto and his friends are truly amazing, and constantly seeing him improve and get stronger throughout the series is actually really fulfilling. And truth be told, I could go on forever about Naruto, so I'll keep it brief. The only thing that I suggest if you do plan to watch this series is to look for a filler list and skip all of the filler, because it does detract from the main story, and there is a lot of filler. Alright, so before I share with you my pick for the number 1 greatest anime of all time, here are a few honorable mentions. Sword Art Online was great up until episode 13, when the entire show changed into something that was very uninteresting. If you like a virtual video game world where if you die in the game, you die for real, then I recommend the first 13 episodes of the show to you. Death Note. Really well thought out and a deep story with a lot of moral choices. However, it just missed the list, but I still highly recommend it for anybody. Cowboy Bebop. Probably would have made the list if I had actually finished it, but the episodes I have seen are truly works of art and I can't wait to see the rest. Cardcaptor Sakura. My childhood. And if you're a fan of decently long anime and magic girl with card power type stuff, then be sure to check this one as well. Heaven's Lost Property. I'm gonna level with you guys for a second. This most likely would have been pretty high up on the list if I just didn't think about it near the end of this list's creation. But yeah, I can't really describe it, but the show gives me this really inspiring and happy feeling whenever I watch it. So be sure to check it out sometime. It really is a fun and unique show to watch. Number 1, One Piece. Yup, this is it. The greatest anime of all time, without a doubt, is One Piece. First, I'm going to start by telling you a bit about the creator, Ichiro Oda. Oda created all of One Piece himself. He is the only person who made the story and all of the drawings in the manga. He's been doing this for 20 years, and his work schedule is truly insane. He works 21 hours a day, 6 days a week. He sleeps between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. and spends 1 day a week with his wife and daughter. I don't know about you, but I think that's just crazy. Anyway, One Piece. Where do I even begin? Well, let's start with the mysteries within One Piece. Okay, so it's been 20 years, and not only do we still have no idea what the One Piece even is, but there's also a missing 100 years in the story that the world government has covered up. In this show, we follow the Straw Hat Pirates, and their captain Monkey D. Luffy. And Luffy isn't the only man with the middle initial D either, because in another mystery, the Will of D, the old pirate king, Gold D. Roger, who left the One Piece, is looking for someone with the man with the name of D. So with that, enough of the secrets. Let's move on to all the subjects that One Piece hits. From starvation to death, drugs, kidnapping, abandonment, drag queens, religion, war, living as disabled, death, and the list just goes on. The show is so well thought out and creative. I mean, who knew you could do so much with rubber? I believe the story's biggest driving force, though, are the characters. The members of the Straw Hat crew are so unique and diverse. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, and Brook. They're so awesome. Not to mention all the other hundreds and hundreds of people that make up the rest of the world. Like, one of the most infamous villains right now was Don Quixote do Flamingo. After watching his arc, you're gonna want to punch that bastard in the face. I literally could go on forever about this series. So even though it is 771 episodes and counting, I'd say embark on this amazing adventure. It'll change your life forever. Hell, I even have a tattoo of the Straw Hat's Jolly Roger on my arm. So with that, remember to always seek freedom and romanticism, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.